Nobody aside God has ever lived a problem an itch free or a weakness free life. Even Jesus Christ, the acclaimed Son of God, still have a crown of thorn to wear and a cross to be crucified on. The question now is, how do you forge ahead even with your problems, even with your challenges, even with your weaknesses that everybody is gossiping about? Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Views with Kunle. I want to appreciate you for liking, for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing to this channel. I know with you on this space, things can only get better. Just before we conclude on soft life, I feel there is an aspect that is very relatable, still related to soft life, that I should speak on. And it is an attribute that is common to all successful and fulfilled people. That attribute is a positive mindset. I know this won't be the first time of someone telling you be positive, have a positive vibe, have a positive mindset, even in the face of an unpleasant situation. But then, just because you can't be over positive, I would like to re-emphasize, and for those that are hearing it for the first time, well, you're welcome. You know, on this planet Earth, no one has ever lived a problem and an itch-free life. Even the legendary figures in our history book, the religious figure in our scriptural book, nobody aside God has ever lived a problem an itch-free or a weakness-free life. Even Jesus Christ, the acclaimed Son of God, still have a crown of thorn to wear and a cross to be crucified on. The question now is, how do you forge ahead even with your problems, even with your challenges, even with your weaknesses that everybody is gossiping about? One thing I want you to hold on to is that you are beyond all or any of your problems, weaknesses, and challenges. You are beyond them all. The second thing I want you to hold on to is that you can let your problem define your life. I will rephrase that. If you give room to your problem, if you dwell on it too much, if you are stuck or fixed on your problem, if care is not taken, it will define you. Come on, you are more than a barren lady. You are more than a single lady in her late 20, in her late 30. You are more than an unemployed youth trying to get his bearing in a tough economy like Nigeria. You are more than all your character flaws. Now, a positive mindset do not take away your problem. No. What a positive mindset do is that it makes you focus on the bright side of life. And when you focus on the bright side of life and not the dark side of life, then you can begin to see the future. You can begin to have something to hold onto, something to forge ahead with. But when you focus too much on the dark side of life, you won't be able to see anything. Your vision will be shallow, and you might be stuck at a stage or in a situation where life and time will pass you by. And there are so many of us that are just so stuck, so fixed, so bent on a situation that we are not really in control of. Most of us wallow in our problems. We are so stuck with our itches and challenges that we are blinded to the opportunities that surround us. The truth is, nobody can really Mere looking at you, nobody can really say this is the problem you are having. And that is one attribute that is common to all successful and well-to-do people. They don't flash their problems or weakness to you. Rather, when you meet them, they show you their area of strength. And that is one attribute that we should all emulate. I'm not saying you should ignore. I'm not saying you shouldn't accept the fact that you have a problem. But I'm saying most of those problems are problems that only time and chances can deal with. Or probably if you believe in God, only time, chances, and God can deal with. So instead of wasting your energy, your strength, your time on things you do not have control of, why not invest such time on things that you are in control of? Last episode, I used a popular person as my illustration, and I will still stick to her this week, the person of Toke Makinwa. But before I bring Toke Makinwa in, let's assume you are living in a country like Nigeria, where the worth of a woman is tied to the title Mrs. I know some of us might want to debate that, but I'm a lady and I know the pressure I am under at this age. You know, at some certain age as a lady, all the world care about is if you're married, if you're wearing a ring. And let's continue with the assumption you do not have any kid to your name, to yourself. You have a bitter history of a failed and a messy divorce. Will you still be Toke Makinwa? Will you still be confident enough to go after what you have passion for? Will you still break new ground? Will you still forge ahead in life? Will you not be stuck in that cycle, in that dark area? Will you still not wallow in your weakness? Will you still not hang your head loosely and go about as if everybody knows the problem you are facing? Will you still be Toke Makinwa? You know, when you go to our page, all you see there is fine, beautiful picture, a lady smiling, a lady living the best of my life, and you might even be fooled, or you might get carried away that you won't even remember that, okay, this lady has issue with so side of her life. And that is how every one of us should be. We shouldn't be defined by a problem. We shouldn't be so stuck on bed on our problems. Rather, we should work hard, build on our area of strength. You know, I was listening to a podcast this week, I think, and she was saying that this is 2002 is one of the worst year ever for her. That she moved from a high mental place to a very low state in 2002. And I went back to her page. I scrolled through. There was never a time she was not smiling. There was never a time she was not dressing up. There was never a time she was not showing up for all her shows. I can remember vividly that 2002 was the time she was hosting, I think she was doing something on Big Brother Nigeria, Tokyo Moment, so many good things. So many good things was happening for her in 2022, and that is what we are all busy with. Nobody knows until she came out herself on her podcast to say that 2022 was a roller coaster of problem, betrayal, disappointment for her, which made her move from a very high, stable mental place to a very low state. And that is how every one of us should be. Do not be defined by your problems. Let me conclude with this. As long as you are not God, you can't have it all. There will always be problems in your life. There will always be itches. You will fumble. Yes, mention any biblical character that do not fumble. Mention any legendary figure that do not fumble. You will fumble. But the key thing is, at each moment in your life, do the most. Do your best with what you have. with the resources around. And do not dwell too much on what you don't have. Do not dwell too much on your problems. Do not dwell too much on your weaknesses. Do not dwell too much on your flaws. Because if you do, my dear, your problem will define you. For instance, I choose to be Kule, the fashion entrepreneur, Kule, the writer, Kule, the vlogger, Kule, the academician, Kule, the event convener, Kule, the humanitarian, rather than being divine as Kule, the single and unhappy lady in her late 20s. The ball is in your court. Do you want to be divine by your strength or your weakness? Stay positive. The future is still far and still bright. Thank you for staying tuned to the end of this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Comment your view on this episode on the comment section. And till we meet again, please stay